So, the great queen of the South Sea forcibly cornered my god brother and pulled him into a scandalous embrace?
I was strategically breaking my ex-husband's mental defense. It was a psychological tactic. Groans! It wasn't about the tactic. Do you know what he did? I literally pulled his hand in, and he yelled at my ex to open the door, like I was some kind of terrifying sea monster.
Oh, so you're mad he didn't take advantage of you. Got it.
I was humiliated, okay? I sacrificed 10 years for that scumbag ex. For once, I just wanted to see if someone would actually choose me. But no, Mr. Keep My Distance actually wiped his mouth after. Wiped his mouth!
Well, next time you want to win over my little brother, skip the ex-husband drama. I'll send him a note. The South Sea Queen needs a hug, not a rescue.
Just let the deep sea pressure crush me right now.
Fang Chen set his cup down, a chill settling over his features. Zhuoyin, it seems you've lost control of your people. Maybe I should handle them for you. He gestured toward the demon emperor and spoke with icy detachment. Warriors of the South Sea, your emperor continues to slander me. Don't you think I'm owed an explanation? The elder's heart sank. That pill recipe was still missing the exact ratios for several key ingredients. Without Fang Chen's cooperation, the scroll was nothing but a useless scrap of paper. And now that idiot Zhuoyin was blind enough to pick a fight with him. What was worse, he was doing it as the South Sea Demon Emperor, effectively turning Fang Chen into an enemy of their entire race. For centuries, they'd waited for a chance to break free from Sanqing Mountain's shadow. Now this fool was about to ruin everything. He was practically dooming the South Sea to eternal subservience. The elders had reached their breaking point. Enough, an elder with long, trailing whiskers roared. You useless brat. As first elder, I move to strip Zhuoyin of his royal status immediately. All opposed, speak now. Indignation burned in the room. Not a single hand went up. They had all been fed up with Zhuoyin for a long time. Some of the other royals had benefited from Zhuoyin's favor and considered helping him, but one look at the elder's murderous glares silenced them. No one dared to speak up. Silence filled the hall. With no opposition, the motion passed. Zhuoyin was officially cast out of the royal family. The elder turned to Empress Jiumeng and cupped his hands. Jiumeng, do you have any objections? Jiumeng let out a long, internal sigh. She had seen this coming from a mile away. A pang of guilt struck her. She had promised the previous emperor she would support Zhuoyin in ruling the South Sea. To cast him out now felt like a betrayal of the dead man's final wish. But she knew the truth. Zhuoyin was a cancer on the South Sea. If he stayed, there would never be peace. By offending Fang Chen, he was throwing away their only shot at ending a century of misfortune. What was the point of keeping him around? Jiumeng suppressed her pity, her gaze turning cold as stone. Since the royal family is in agreement, I have no objections. As the South Sea Empress, I hereby strike Zhuoyin's name from our lineage. He is to be evicted from the palace immediately and is banned for life from ever returning. Her decree rippled through the water in a wave of sonic energy, reaching every corner of the palace and for miles beyond. Soon the news would spread to the furthest reaches of the South Sea and across the 4 oceans. Elders, you're exiling me from my own family for a pathetic human, Zhuoyin shouted, his voice cracking with disbelief. He couldn't wrap his head around it. He'd done far worse things in the past without so much as a slap on the wrist. Now, just for taunting Fang Chen, without even touching a hair on the guy's head, he was losing everything. Ignoring him, Jiumeng turned to Fang Chen. Her regal features softened into a warm, inviting smile. Master Fang, how do you find this arrangement? Are you satisfied? Fang Chen gave a slight nod. It's a start, but it would be better if he disappeared from my sight immediately. Jiumeng's eyes snapped back to Zhuoyin. You heard him. Why are you still here? This palace is off. Limits to you now. Get out, before you ruin Master Fang's mood any further. Seeing Jiumeng's icy glare directed at him while she fawned over Fang Chen, Zhuoyin felt a surge of white, hot rage. You little pretty boy, he spat. What did you do to my wife to make her follow your every word? He lunged, swinging a vicious palm toward Fang Chen's head, refusing to accept reality. But before he could connect, a black gown blurred before his eyes. A sharp, thunderous slap sent him spinning across the hall and crashing out the doors. Jiumeng stood there, her face a mask of frost. Unrepentant fool, even now, you dare slander Master Fang and raise a hand against him. I should strip you of your cultivation entirely. Zhuoyin spat out a mouthful of blood as he hit the ground. Jiumeng, you're choosing this pretty boy over me. Fine. Don't expect another single winter cicada pill for the rest of your lives. Even if you beg me on your knees, you won't get a damn thing. Jiumeng was done. Every time, he used those pills to hold them hostage. Thankfully, those days were over. Actually, the South Sea is finished with your pills. Keep them, you can choke on them, for all I care. The core elders looked down at him with pure disgust. Piece of trash, we're finally done walking on eggshells around you. The South Sea has no room for your kind. Zhuoyin froze. His leverage was gone, and panic began to set in. You're just trying to scare me, right? You need those pills. You need me. Kneel and apologize right now, and I might just forgive you. Jiumeng had heard enough. She slammed her foot down, summoning a massive surge of seawater that swept Zhuoyin up and blasted him clear out of the palace grounds. She hurried back into the hall, noticing Fang Chen was dusted with silt. She reached out to brush it off him, but he stepped back, cleaning himself off with a cold indifference. Let's end the banquet here, he said flatly. Let's just get the night pearls, fix the recipe, and get this over with. She could hear the irritation in his voice. To drag him into her messy marital drama was unfair, and she couldn't blame him for being annoyed. I'll take you there immediately, Jiumeng said, her voice now cautious. She didn't want to push him any further, terrified he might just walk away from their deal entirely. Elders, I need the keys to the Forbidden Zone, she said, turning to the 8 core leaders. The protective night pearls were sealed by an ancient formation that required the royal seal to open. There had originally been 2 seals, one held by the emperor, and the other split into 8 pieces for the elders. But the previous emperor had lost his seal before passing, meaning the only way to open the vault now was to assemble all 8 fragments. It was the only reason Zhuoyin hadn't raided the vault already, otherwise he would have picked it clean long ago. The elders handed over their fragments, their eyes shining with hope. The future of the South Sea is in your hands now. Jiumeng looked at the reassembled seal in her palm, her own heart racing with anticipation. Master Fang, after you. The history of the South Sea was about to be rewritten. Fang Chen let out a heavy sigh. Let's just hope there are no more surprises. Usually, people got in trouble while chasing a reward. He was just passing through, and the trouble was chasing him. He tried to stay 10 feet away from the Empress at all times, yet he was still drowning in all this drama. What a headache! Deep within the palace, faint moonlight filtered through the water, draping the scene like a gossamer veil. The 2 of them walked in silence down a secluded path, where seagrass swayed gently in the rhythmic current. Vibrant fish darted playfully between the rocks. Jiumeng led the way, her long, elegant legs casting slender shadows in the dim moonlight. Fang Chen followed, carefully adjusting his stride whenever he stepped on her shadow, as if even that was too close. Jiumeng caught the movement and arched an eyebrow. Was he really that repulsed by her? A prickle of annoyance stung her, and she finished the walk in silence. A massive circular formation, nearly 100 yards wide and glowing with a soft azure light, finally came into view. This was it, the source of the protective night pearls. Fang Chen walked over, politely keeping a good 10 yards between them. Peering over, he found a coral reef teeming with clusters of sea mussels. Among them, 10 clams were truly colossal, easily rivaling the one that had birthed the sky-burning pearl. A dazzling radiance pulsed out from their narrow slits. Clearly, they held ultimate protective luminous pearls. Joy lit up Fang Chen's eyes, and he made to step forward. But the moment he spotted the blue light formation on the ground, he halted instantly. He'd already learned his lesson from Yi Banxia's gravity formation, keenly aware of how potent such arrays could be. The old dream demonic empress secretly curled her lips. She'd been hoping Fang Chen would impulsively charge in, suffer a minor setback, and be humiliated, especially after he'd been so high and mighty, keeping his distance. So cautious is he. This is a grand defensive array of my Southern Sea royal clan. Once activated, not even a Nascent Soul Realm expert would dream of breaking through it. She explained. Fang Chen nodded slightly. An ultimate luminous pearl certainly deserves such a powerful array. On the other hand, if someone goes in, can they even get back out? The old dream demonic empress flicked the imperial talisman in her palm. Without this, it's entirely possible. This is the only imperial talisman left. If it were to be lost again, anyone trapped inside would truly be doomed. Fang Chen nodded slightly, entirely unconcerned. He'd just acquired a formation, breaking hammer from that turncoat. This array held no sway over him. You stand guard out here. I'll go retrieve the protective luminous pearl, Fang Chen said, cracking his knuckles. The old dream demonic empress scoffed. Aren't you afraid I'll just trap you in there forever? Fang Chen shot her a wary look. Imprison me? What exactly are you planning? The old dream demonic empress froze, then instantly grasped Fang Chen's implication. She stomped her foot in exasperation. What makes you think I'd do something like that? Honestly, why was he actually guarding against her? Was she truly that kind of person? With an indignant huff, she tapped the Imperial Talisman against the array, and a segment of the blue circle on the ground instantly vanished. Fang Chen walked straight in, making his way to one of the colossal clams. He gripped its edges with both hands, pulling with all his might. Sensing danger, the clam's tiny opening snapped shut instantly. Not only did it refuse to open, it nearly crushed his fingers in the process. He drew his sword, attempting to wedge it into the slit and pry the clam open. But the colossal clam was sealed tight. Even his violet sword couldn't find a single gap to insert. Smashing the clam risked damaging its contents, but opening it gently seemed utterly impossible. From outside the array, the old dream demonic empress, who had been watching with a cool expression, finally couldn't help but burst out laughing at Fang Chen's utter failure. This fellow finally ran into something he couldn't handle, didn't he? Forget Fang Chen. Even a heterodox nascent soul cultivator like Zhuoyin wouldn't dream of opening these colossal clams. What's so funny? Want to bet I'll smash all these clams to bits? Fang Chen glared at her, his face dark. He truly hadn't expected to be defeated by a mere clam. The old dream demonic empress clapped a hand over her mouth, giggling uncontrollably. She'd finally found her chance to thoroughly mock Fang Chen. After all his high and mighty posturing, thinking she'd try to take advantage of him, now he was the one making a fool of himself, wasn't he? I'm not helping. I'm just going to watch you continue to humiliate yourself. A man who can't open something right in front of him, are you even capable, you pathetic little dog? What the hell? What man could endure such a taunt? Fang Chen bristled with indignation. You think I can't open a mere clam? He immediately retrieved his long, dormant 5 magnetite mountain and activated its 5 magnetic divine light. As the divine light enveloped them, the colossal clams instantly became limp and helpless. They opened wide, docile and willing, allowing Fang Chen to freely collect their treasures. Fang Chen didn't even need to use his void stream lightning force. He merely deactivated the 5 magnetic divine light, and before the clams could react, he casually reached inside, retrieving the smooth, pearlescent orb. It contained a breathtaking essence of heaven and earth. If it truly could block a nascent soul attack, he wouldn't be surprised. Fang Chen immediately put it away. He glanced at the old dream demonic empress, whose laughter had utterly died, then chuckled. There isn't a clam in this world I can't open. The old dream demonic empress pursed her red lips and lightly stomped her foot. Damn him, he actually pulled it off. Fang Chen repeated the process, opening 6 more clams one after another, collecting a total of 6 impressively large luminous pearls. With these, he now possessed 6 life-saving items, each capable of defending against a single nascent soul attack. Should he encounter another nascent soul expert, he could even use a talisman arrow to directly confront their attack. Looking at the remaining 4 clams, he suddenly noticed one had damaged edges, as if violently struck. This one looks injured, he said with a glint in his eye. Let me rescue it. The old dream demonic empress panicked. How could she let Fang Chen touch it? If he touched it, it would be his. Stop! The old dream demon empress tore through the array. Before Fang Chen could even lay a finger on the giant clam, she yanked him back by the collar. Behave yourself, kid, she warned. Don't even think about trying anything funny. Fang Chen sighed helplessly. Sure, he wanted to pocket an extra pearl, but it was also true that her prized clam was damaged. Look for yourself and please personal space, Fang Chen said, shaking off her grip and swiftly backing away to a safe distance. The old dream demon empress didn't have the time to deal with him. She immediately stepped forward to inspect the damaged shell. Upon closer inspection, it was indeed scarred. Someone had clearly taken a sharp weapon to it, trying to pry it open by force, only to fail. When I came for an inspection a year ago, all 10 clams were perfectly intact. Did the 8 clan elders come here behind my back? A look of suspicion and shock crossed the Empress's face. Fang Chen also sensed that something was seriously off. First off, what was the point of the 8 clan elders teaming up to steal the supreme defensive luminous pearls? These were specifically reserved to fend off major enemies. If the South Sea Demon clan actually faced a crisis, the elders would be the first to use them anyway. There was zero need for them to resort to theft. Furthermore, there was no way all 8 elders could be so perfectly united to pull the wool over the Empress's eyes. She had ruled the South Sea for over 2 decades. At least a few of those elders had to be her trusted confidants. If they had truly conspired to do this, there was no way she would be completely in the dark. An idea clicked in Fang Chen's mind. The previous Demon Emperor's royal talisman, it was never actually lost, was it? He mused. Impossible. The Empress denied flatly. The old Emperor explicitly said he lost it. But suddenly, a thought struck her. Her expression darkened. Wait, did the old Emperor secretly give it to Zhuoyin? Only that degenerate would stoop to this kind of petty theft. Her face grew complicated, and she let out a heavy sigh. Words failed her. The old Emperor knew exactly how useless Zhuoyin was, so why on earth would he entrust him with something so critical? It was a good thing opening the giant clam required Nascent Soul Realm power. Otherwise, Zhuoyin would have pawned off the supreme defensive pearls ages ago. She leaned weakly against the massive shell, overwhelmed by exhaustion. Fang Chen, however, saw the situation with crystal clarity. He offered a bit of comfort. No matter how useless Zhuoyin is, he's still his son. You expect a father to leave the good stuff to outsiders instead of his own flesh and blood. People are inherently selfish. It makes complete sense. Besides, you've already kicked Zhuoyin out of the royal family. He's not your problem anymore. Her mood improved slightly at his words. Thank you. She muttered softly, I'm just so tired. I might have a husband in name, but honestly, I'm worse off than that damn widow. She might be exhausted, but at least she doesn't have anyone dragging her down or stabbing her in the back. Fang Chen actually felt a pang of sympathy for her. She definitely had it rougher than the Lost Pearl Demon Empress. Still, it wasn't his place to meddle in someone else's family drama. He cupped his hands. Thanks for your generosity, Empress. Hand over the incomplete pill recipe, and I'll finish it for you. All her worries vanished in an instant, replaced by a radiant smile as she pulled out the recipe. She stepped toward him, only to see Fang Chen immediately shuffle backward. Her patience snapped. What is your problem? Are you treating me like a threat? Do we really need to stay 10 yards apart at all times? Seeing her get riled up, Fang Chen was genuinely baffled. Is that an issue? It's better for both of us this way, right? He had absolutely no desire to repeat the absurd disaster that happened in the East Sea. Keeping his distance from the old dream Demon Empress was the smartest play. She furrowed her brow. Sure, it's not an issue, but shouldn't I be the one treating you like a threat? You're acting like I'm the one scheming to jump you. So that's why she was mad. Fang Chen was speechless. All right, he said. Just let me confirm one thing. You don't happen to have any sons or daughters who look exactly like you, do you? Her beautiful face hardened. I do not share any heirs with that man, but a moment later, realization dawned on her, and she eyed Fang Chen up and down with growing suspicion. Wait, are you asking because you've met that damn widow's eldest daughter and second son, the ones who are spitting images of her? Did you two have some sort of misunderstanding, and now you're guarding against me to prevent it from happening again? As someone who had ruled as an empress for decades, her intuition was razor sharp. She had instantly guessed the exact truth. Fang Chen flushed with embarrassment and quickly pivoted. Do you want the pill recipe or not? If not, I'm out of here. She took a long stride right up to him. Glaring into his eyes with a fierce, phoenix-like intensity, she shoved the recipe against his chest. You can put your mind totally at ease. This is my South Sea Imperial Palace, not the lightning pool. Sparking, a misunderstanding here isn't going to be that easy. Fang Chen rolled his eyes. You're the one invading my personal space. If anything happens, I'm not taking the blame. Unfolding the recipe, he quickly jotted down the exact ratios for the missing ingredients. Our deal is done. See ya. He handed the completed recipe back to her and turned to leave the array. She gave the paper a hurried glance, her eyes lighting up with joy, and followed him toward the exit. Suddenly, as if sensing a deadly shift in the air, she lunged forward. Just before Fang Chen could step out of the array, she grabbed his arm and hissed, Don't go out there. Caught completely off guard, Fang Chen was yanked backward. The back of his head slammed into something incredibly soft and warm. Turning his head, he realized he was buried right against the Empress's chest. She was wearing a modest, loose-fitting black dress that hid her figure, but based on the sheer impact of that collision, the scale perfectly matched what he had glimpsed back at the lightning pool. Her face flushed crimson, and she shoved him away in a panic. I literally told you to keep your distance, but no, you wouldn't listen, Fang Chen grumbled. Despite his complaints, his gaze was already locked on the space beyond the array. He narrowed his eyes. Why did you pull me back? Did you spot something? Demon Empress Jiumeng rubbed her slightly aching chest from the sudden collision, her gaze sharpened, piercing through the boundary of the formation. Show yourself, she demanded. The air just outside the formation rippled and distorted, slowly revealing a towering silhouette. He possessed striking features, yet his eyes were razor sharp, currently brimming with a dark, venomous malice. It was none other than Demon Emperor Zhuoyin, the very man who had just been banished from the South Sea Imperial Palace. I knew it was you. The Empress's formidable senses had caught the hidden presence lurking just outside the formation, allowing her to pull Fang Chen back just in time. Staring him down, she saw Zhuoyin gripping a wickedly sharp dagger in his left hand and a palm-sized, iridescent fish scale in his right. The scale shimmered with an ethereal light. It was clearly the magical artifact that had been masking his presence. Wasn't that lost ages ago? The Empress was briefly caught off guard before her expression grew complicated. Fang Chen's words echoed in her mind at the end of the day. Zhuoyin was still the old Emperor's biological son. However, her beautiful face hardened as she eyed the weapon in his hand. You still dare to try and assassinate young Master Fang. The only reason she had noticed anything amiss was the faint, lingering trace of bloodlust. Without it, he would have remained entirely undetectable. What is your heart aching for him? And what's this about a misunderstanding at the lightning pool? I heard every single word. Zhuoyin sneered. You keep claiming there's nothing going on between you and this pretty boy, but look at you now, you shameless tramp. Empress Jiumeng didn't even dignify him with an explanation. She let out a cold scoff. You sneaked all the way back here just to assassinate young Master Fang. Perfect. I'll lock you up right now and deal with you once he safely departs the South Sea. If Fang Chen died here under her watch, there would be hell to pay with the Pavilion Master of Heavenly Secrets. Zhuoyin was like a lingering ghost. Leaving him to roam free would only invite disaster. It was better to capture him now. Whoosh, she instantly darted out of the formation to grab him. You want to capture me over some toy boy? Zhuoyin roared. He immediately whipped a dazzling golden imperial talisman from his robes and pressed it against the formation. The barrier's only opening sealed shut in an instant. Empress Jiumeng lunged at the edge of the formation, only to be violently repelled by a translucent azure energy shield. So the old Emperor's talisman really is in your hands, she said coldly. But do you really think this formation can hold me? She drew her own imperial talisman and tapped it against the barrier. To her absolute horror, the formation didn't even ripple. It completely ignored her talisman's command. Outside the barrier, Zhuoyin burst into maniacal laughter. What's wrong? Can't get the door open. The old man trusted you so much, yet he never told you that the talisman held by the ruling Demon Emperor is the only true imperial talisman. The ones given to the 8 great clan elders are nothing but secondary copies. In the presence of the true Emperor's seal, your little knock-off is utterly useless. Shocked to her core, Empress Jiumeng frantically channeled her energy into her talisman again and again. But it was exactly as Zhuoyin had said. Her talisman was dead in her hands. The formation refused to yield to her authority. How is this possible? A wave of panic washed over her. If her talisman was obsolete, didn't that mean she was effectively trapped inside the formation? Ha ha ha, Zhuoyin chuckled, smugly waving his golden token. At the end of the day, the old man still favored me. He saved the best toys for his own flesh and blood. He watched as the Empress stubbornly continued, trying to force the barrier open with her talisman. Shaking his head, he gripped his true talisman and muttered an incantation. A split second later, the talisman in Empress Jiumeng's hand shattered back into 8 fragmented pieces, completely refusing to merge back together. The true imperial talisman had the power to dominate the secondary ones. Now completely stripped of her authority, the Empress furiously pounded her fists against the azure energy shield. Zhuoyin, deactivate this formation immediately, she ordered. It's not too late to turn back. Zhuoyin snorted coldly. You stupid bitch, you still don't get it, do you? You're a prisoner in there. Without my nod of approval, you're rotting in there for the rest of your life, and you still dare to bark orders at me? Empress Jiumeng glared daggers at him, her heart sinking like a stone. Zhuoyin, enough of this madness, she said, her voice dropping to a grave octave. Have you thought about the consequences if I am trapped in here to die? What happens to the South Sea without a ruling demon empress to hold the line? Those great sects and divine factions from the taking continent will swallow our realm whole. Everything your father built will be reduced to ash. Her death in this prison would spell absolute catastrophe for their people. But Zhuoyin only laughed out of pure spite. Ha ha ha, now you want me to think of the bigger picture. I could have trapped you in here and let you die during one of your inspections ages ago. But I knew that if I killed you back then, I wouldn't be able to suppress the 8 clan elders and reclaim my throne as the Lord of the South Sea. But look at me now, I've been stripped of my royal status and exiled. What the hell do I have left to lose? I don't give a damn if the South Sea burns to the ground. All I care about is tearing you down, you miserable wretch. I'll leave you here to rot. You can watch helplessly as every demonic beast in the southern sea is buried alongside you. The old man always said you were brilliant, didn't he? Well, let him watch from the grave as you drag the entire southern sea into the abyss. Watching Zhuoyin's deranged, roaring meltdown, the old dream demonic sovereign realized words were completely useless. This lunatic just wanted her dead. She lowered her head, fists clenched so tight her knuckles turned white, a profound sense of injustice twisting in her gut. She could have married someone worthy. She could have lived the life she actually wanted. Instead, the previous demonic sovereign had relentlessly begged her to lower herself and marry a piece of trash like Zhuoyin. Even during her break through to the demonic sovereign realm, she had surrendered to the old sovereign's demands. She diverted a portion of her own heavenly tribulation lightning to his pathetic son, just so the loser could scrape together an unorthodox Nascent Soul Realm cultivation. Because of that, her own foundation was weakened. She fell behind her peer, the Lost Pearl demonic sovereign, becoming the weakest of the 4 sea sovereigns. After the old man died, she spent years drowning in stress, constantly cleaning up Zhuoyin's endless messes. And what did she get for all her sacrifices? Absolute betrayal. The old sovereign's blatant favoritism meant he had secretly left his useless son a lethal artifact capable of trapping her. He had actually armed his son to kill her. She had sacrificed her happiness and thrown away a decade of her life, only to end up like this. At that thought, hot tears of bitter regret spilled down her cheeks. If she were ever given a second chance, the old sovereign could get on his hands and knees to beg, and she still wouldn't show a shred of mercy. Fang Chen finally understood why the Lost Pearl demonic sovereign had been trash, talking them behind their backs. Zhuoyin really was a bottom-feeding scumbag. Breaking his strict 10-foot distance rule, Fang Chen stepped closer. Old dream demonic sovereign, dry your tears. A guy like him isn't worth crying over. While Fang Chen offered sympathy, Zhuoyin reveled in her misery. Seeing his wife break down in tears made him feel like a god, and he burst into manic laughter. Ha ha ha, you miserable bitch, so you can cry. You want out of there? Get on your knees, beg me like a dog, and call me your master. The old dream demonic sovereign tilted her head up, tears still gleaming in her eyes. Her gaze was completely consumed by righteous fury and profound betrayal, a look that only fueled Zhuoyin's sick amusement. I love that look on your face. He cackled, so pissed off, yet completely powerless. Come on, hit me if you're so tough. Hit me! Her fists clenched even tighter. A raging inferno of sheer spite and a desperate thirst for revenge exploded within her. An idea flashed through her mind. She hesitated for a split second, but as Zhuoyin's mocking laughter echoed in her ears, her hesitation hardened into pure malice. With a swift, deliberate tug, she untied the silk sash at her waist. Her expression was ice cold. Zhuoyin, haven't you always wanted my body? Haven't you spent years hating me because I refused to let you touch me? Zhuoyin's laughter abruptly died in his throat. A sudden prickle of unease washed over him. What the hell are you doing? The old dream demonic sovereign let the sash drop to the floor. The smooth black silk of her dress slipped off her shoulders, sliding down to reveal the form, fitting white inner garments clinging to her stunning figure. Stripped of her loose outer robes, her breathtaking curves were finally put on full display. She possessed a waist so slender it could be wrapped in a single arm, a full, proud bust, and a graceful back as delicate as parchment. But the most captivating sight was her legs, strikingly long, flawless, and perfectly straight, carrying an elegant yet dominating stance. Wiping away the last of her tears, a wicked, mocking gleam ignited in her eyes. Didn't you accuse me of having an affair with Fang Chen? I absolutely hate being falsely accused, so I might as well make it the truth. Fang Chen's alarm bells started screaming. He instantly scrambled backward. Whoa, old dream demonic sovereign, let's just calm down, he yelled, waving his hands. Don't do anything rash. Zhuoyin is a complete dirtbag, but you don't need to ruin your own reputation over him. Seeing Fang Chen retreating only poured gasoline on her raging fire. She was already frustrated with how he constantly avoided her, and now all her pent-up anger fully erupted. Why are you running away? She snapped. Am I that hideous to you? By now, Fang Chen had backed completely into a wall of solid seashells. Pressing himself flat against it, he stammered, Old dream demonic sovereign. Look, I can try to crack this array. Just take a deep breath and calm down. Honestly, with that little hammer artifact of his, he could only try. He certainly wasn't about to guarantee a miracle. But to the old dream demonic sovereign's ears, this was nothing but a pathetic excuse. A defensive array that even a demonic sovereign couldn't shatter. What was a mere golden core realm cultivator going to do about it? The rejection instantly sent her over the edge. In a blur of motion, she darted forward and slammed her palm into the wall right next to his head with a resounding smack, pinning him in place. Her flawless face leaned in dangerously close, her phoenix-like eyes flared with intense authority, radiating the overwhelming presence of a true demonic sovereign. "I despise being rejected," she whispered fiercely, "and that applies to you too." Fang Chen stared at the villain-arc version of the old dream demonic sovereign and desperately whipped his head to the side. "Zhuoyin, open the damn array. Something's seriously wrong with your wife." Outside the barrier, Zhuoyin's expression had darkened so drastically it looked like a brewing storm cloud. The wife who never even let him brush her hand was about to put on a live, X-rated show with another man, right in front of his face, just to spite him. "Old dream," he bellowed, "have you completely lost your mind? Have you no shame?" Every word felt like a needle plunging into his ego. The smug, arrogant prick from 2 minutes ago was entirely gone. The old dream demonic sovereign merely scoffed. Grabbing Fang Chen by the collar, she dragged him directly to the edge of the transparent barrier and shoved his back flat against it. She shot a venomous, mocking glare at Zhuoyin, who stood mere inches away on the other side of the glass, like a ray. A vicious thrill of sweet revenge flooded her veins. Seeing him look like he'd just swallowed a mouthful of flies made it all the more intoxicating. Abandoning all remaining hesitation, she grabbed Fang Chen's hand and firmly pressed it right against her soft, warm chest. She commanded in an unyielding tone, "Strip me naked, right in front of my worthless husband." Fang Chen tried to retract his hand as if shocked by lightning, but Old Dream Demon Empress gripped his wrist firmly, pressing it deep against her chest. "Rip it, what are you waiting for? Can't you even undress a woman?" Old Dream Demon Empress snapped. Fang Chen gawked. "Sister Yizhu, this is what you meant by Old Dream Demon Empress being more conservative than you. This is insane." He quickly exclaimed, "Zhuoyin, what are you waiting for? Don't let me and your wife do something we'll regret." Zhuoyin, his eyes bulging and jaw clenched tight, glared at the hand pressed firmly against Old Dream's chest. He slammed his fist against the formation and roared, "Shut up. You pretty boy, kill yourself right now. Don't you dare touch my wife, or I'll tear you limb from limb." Seeing him lose his temper, Old Dream Demon Empress knew she had done the right thing. "So even you worthless man, can feel miserable. Didn't you always make me suffer before?" She abandoned all restraint, her eyes flashing dangerously. "Fang Chen, use your special skills. Today, in front of this worthless excuse for a man, unravel me too." Fang Chen hurriedly said, "Old Dream Demon Empress, I have a magical artifact that can counter this formation, perhaps even force a way out. Please, let me go first." He no longer cared about exposing his secrets, he just wanted to stop Old Dream Demon Empress as quickly as possible. But by now, it wasn't about being trapped anymore. It was about the couple's bitter revenge against each other. Old Dream Demon Empress snapped, "Are you even a man? I give you a chance, and you're still useless. Do you have any idea how many people desire me, just like they desire Yizhu Demon Empress? Am I not pretty enough? Or do these legs not catch your eye?" She grabbed Fang Chen's other hand and forced it to caress her long, slender leg, making Zhuoyin fume with rage. His eyes blazing with fury, he roared, "Fang Chen, you little bastard, just die already." Fang Chen was incensed. "You've driven your own wife to this dark edge, and you want me to die quickly. Both of you are pushing me, aren't you? Then I'll give you what you want." He grabbed Old Dream Demon Empress by her collar and shoved her back against the formation. "You insolent woman, I kept my distance from you, but you insisted on throwing yourself at me, and now you're still forcing my hand." Then he glared at Zhuoyin. "And you bastard. I was just minding my own business, passing through, but you just had to provoke me and even try to kill me. Now I'll grant you both your wish and make you regret it. My patience has run out." With a forceful tug, he ripped open Old Dream Demon Empress's inner robes, revealing a peach-colored bodice underneath, embroidered with several beautiful fish patterns. The darkened Old Dream Demon Empress finally snapped out of it, a flicker of panic in her eyes. She reached out to push against Fang Chen's chest, trying to resist him. But remembering that bastard Zhuoyin was still watching, her heart hardened. She slowly loosened her grip, her hands falling limply, allowing Fang Chen to tear off her bodice and bury his face in her chest. Zhuoyin snapped, bellowing in fury, "You little bastards, stop it right now. I can't take it anymore." He activated the Imperial Talisman, causing the fragments in Old Dream Demon Empress's hand to merge back into one piece and restoring her control over the formation. Zhuoyin himself quickly fled forward, shouting as he ran, "You little bastard, I'll never forgive you." Seeing that the Imperial Talisman was functional again, Fang Chen quickly released Old Dream Demon Empress and casually wiped his mouth. Old Dream Demon Empress awoke, as if from a dream, hastily pulled her inner robes closed. Then frantically pulled on her white gown before taking out the Imperial Talisman and attempting to control the formation. As a corner of the formation opened, it signaled their freedom at last. She quickly stepped out of the formation, stammering, You can come out now." Fang Chen's face was burning red, and he quickly slipped out as well. The two stood back in awkward silence. The scene that had just unfolded was utterly ridiculous. Fang Chen was too ashamed to stay. Since your business is settled, I'll take my leave." Old Dream Demon Empress's face was also flushed crimson. Oh, wait a moment," she said instinctively. She suddenly came to her senses and added, "Don't tell anyone about what happened today." Her hands covered her burning cheeks. The scene that had just unfolded mortified her beyond words. "I actually did something like that. Was that really me? Heavens, I might as well have died trapped in the formation. How will I ever face anyone again?" Fang Chen said awkwardly, "Among the three of us, who would dare speak of it? Zhuoyin, the thoroughly cuckolded fool, certainly wouldn't have the face to. Old Dream Demon Empress would never say anything either, and neither would Fang Chen." Hearing this, Old Dream felt a slight easing of her mind, but her heart was still pounding wildly, her cheeks burning. She stammered, "Then, you can go." Fang Chen nodded, too embarrassed to stay, and promptly left. "Wait," Old Dream Demon Empress called out to Fang Chen again. "You really won't say anything?" "Not even to Yizhu Demon Empress. I can tell your relationship with her is quite close. Otherwise, Yizhu Demon Empress wouldn't have guided you to exchange for that top-grade protective luminous pearl. If you can't keep it to yourself and tell Yizhu Demon Empress about this, then I'll never be able to face her again." "I won't," Fang Chen said awkwardly. "Sister Yizhu repeatedly warned me to stay away from you, yet something like this still happened. Let her know. God knows how much she's misinterpreting things." The Dream Sovereign looked surprised. "Shouldn't you be calling her mother-in-law? I thought after your trip to the Eastern Sea, you and Princess Mengchu had hit it off. Why the hell are you calling her big sister now?" Fang Chen replied, "Sovereign Yizhu was kind enough to take me under her wing as her sworn younger brother." The Dream Sovereign muttered suspiciously, "That damn widow, she never gets involved in these kinds of messy relationships." Looking at Fang Chen's youthful, dashing figure and remembering the misunderstanding between him and Sovereign Yizhu's daughter, she thought she finally understood. "Sworn siblings, please, who are you trying to kid? Have you no shame?" At the same time, she started to worry. If that widow started whispering in his ear, what if Fang Chen went soft and told her everything that happened today? She'd be the laughingstock of the cultivation world forever. No, she had to win Fang Chen over. She couldn't let him be completely on Yizhu's team. She thought for a moment, then tested the waters. "Fang Chen, would you mind having another sworn sister? A strictly professional one, of course." "I'm not like that widow. This would be a completely legitimate younger brother situation." How could Fang Chen refuse? Another demon sovereign as a sworn sister. It was a win-win. He bowed deeply with a respectful salute. "I'm honored, Sovereign. Since you've offered, please accept my respects, big sister." The Dream Sovereign beamed. "My little brother, a big sister," he replied. They shared a smile, and the previous awkwardness finally began to fade. "Yizhu is so stingy, giving you nothing but a title," she scoffed. "I'll do you one better. I'm naming you the Prince of the Southern Sea. I'll announce it across the 4 oceans so every beast clan knows who you are. From now on, whenever you travel the seas, you can call yourself Fang Chen, the Sea King of the South." Fang Chen, the Sea King, it had a nice ring to it. Even if there wasn't much actual power behind the title, it was a hell of a way to intimidate people. "Thank you, sister. I'll take my leave then." "Wait." The Dream Sovereign's expression turned cold. "Zhuoyin, that bastard, almost got us both killed. I can't tolerate his games anymore. I need to strip him of his sovereign seal, cripple his cultivation, and lock him away forever. I won't let him cause any more trouble." Fang Chen narrowed his eyes. The look of pure malice in Zhuoyin's eyes before he fled was no joke. God knows what kind of revenge he'd try to take on those close to Fang Chen. "If you're willing to handle that loose end yourself, big sister, then that's perfect. Let's go now." The Dream Sovereign nodded, but after a few steps, she stopped with a strange look on her face. She glanced down at her chest. A patch of the white fabric was soaked through and slightly sticky. "That was Realization hit her, and her cheeks flushed hot again. Wait a second. I need to go to my room and change. Fang Chen was speechless. This was an emergency, and she wanted to change her clothes. Before long, she reappeared in a clean, light green dress, and hurried off with Fang Chen in tow. Do you know where he went? Fang Chen asked. Where else? She snapped, her face icy. To that little fox in the Western Sea. Fang Chen remembered the seductive sea demon he'd seen with Zhuoyin earlier, so she was from the West. She was pretty enough, but compared to the Dream Sovereign, she wasn't even in the same league. Zhuoyin really didn't know how good he had it. He had a beautiful, capable wife running the Southern Sea while he lived the high life as a sovereign. How did he manage to screw this up so badly? Sister, does that sea demon have any backing? Fang Chen mused. If we need backup, I can always call in a favor from the Western Sea Sovereign. Any woman who could wrap Zhuoyin around her finger couldn't be simple. He was worried the Dream Sovereign might be walking into a 2-on-1 trap. Besides, didn't the Western Sea Sovereign owe him a reward? Asking him to discipline a local sea demon within his borders shouldn't be a problem. A wave of warmth washed over the Dream Sovereign. Fang Chen was actually willing to use his favor with the Western Sea Sovereign for her. Then a pang of sadness hit her. If it weren't for the old sovereign, maybe she could have married a man as kind and considerate as Fang Chen. She shook her head. No need. I've already looked into that fox. She's only at the peak of the 9th level of the Golden Core Realm. I can handle her myself. Hearing that, Fang Chen relaxed. Even if things went south, his talisman arrows should be enough to back her up. A day later, a battered Zhuoyin managed to escape the Southern Sea, eventually reaching a cluster of beautiful underwater reefs in the west. You shameless woman, stealing my throne and sleeping with another man right in front of me. Just you wait. Once I truly break through to the sovereign realm, I'll make you pay. He stopped at the entrance of a hidden reef cave, gasping for breath. Thank God I stashed all those treasures from the south here. This should be enough for me to survive for a while. But as he stepped toward the entrance, he heard a muffled, suspicious sound from inside. You're sure your husband won't suddenly come back? The West Sea Prince had his arm around a breathtakingly seductive siren, a playful grin plastered on his face. The siren was a stunning mermaid, all curves and bedroom eyes. Her slender, jade-like fingers traced patterns across the prince's skin, sending his blood boiling with heat. If he comes back, are you just going to toss me aside? She whispered. She nibbled on his ear, her breath sweet and intoxicating. The West Sea Prince couldn't take it anymore. A shiver ran through him as he pinned her down, his breath coming in ragged gasps. You're going to be the death of me, you little minx. I'm going to tame you right here, right now. The siren raised a hand, stopping him mid-move. A sharp glint flashed in her eyes. So about that soul formation secret realm in the North Sea, can I go? Driven by pure lust, the West Sea Prince didn't hesitate. He tapped his forehead and pulled out a tiny, flickering blue flame. If you keep me this happy, I'd give you my damn life. Her eyes lit up with delight. She snatched the blue flame and pressed it into her own brow. Only then did she let go, smiling as she let the prince have his way with her. Bam! Suddenly, the stone door exploded, nearly scaring them out of their skins. The siren looked up and saw Zhuoyin's face, dark, murderous, and terrifying. Her heart nearly stopped. She scrambled. She shoved the prince away, panicking. Zhuoyin, wait. I can explain. He's just here to fix the plumbing. The West Sea Prince's heart was hammering against his ribs. He fumbled with his pants, looking incredibly awkward. Right, exactly. I'm just a handyman, real specialist in, clogged pipes. Zhuoyin looked like he was about to eat them alive. He let out a primal roar. Fix your mother. You two bastards are going to die. First, the old Dream Empress had humiliated him by cheating right in front of him. He'd come here looking for a little comfort, only to find someone else raiding his second home. He unleashed his nascent soul-level water manipulation. A terrifying water dragon surged forward, literally ripping the cave apart. The shockwave sent the siren flying, slamming her into the rocks until she was coughing up blood. Amidst the swirling dust and debris, the West Sea Prince was nowhere to be seen. Zhuoyin's killing intent was suffocating as he scanned the area. Just outside the cave, the water dragon's tail swept through the air, causing a shimmer in the seemingly empty space. A second later, a figure went flying, spitting blood. It was the West Sea Prince. Who else? Pale as a ghost, the prince shouted, Wait, hold on. I didn't know you were her husband, Emperor Zhuoyin. Besides, she told me her husband was a total scumbag who treated her like trash. I was just providing some emotional support. That was the final straw. Zhuoyin felt like he was going to explode. He had doted on this siren for years, pouring South Sea resources into her until she reached the peak of the Golden Core realm. And yet, just like Old Dream, she thought he was a scumbag. "I'll kill you both." Consumed by the sting of betrayal, Zhuoyin roared and lunged at the prince. The West Sea Prince scrambled backward in a blind panic, but as he crawled, a pair of legs appeared in front of him. He looked up, his jaw dropping. Fang Chen. Fang Chen couldn't help but sigh. He looked at the prince with his pants half down, then at the disheveled siren, and finally at the vibrating rage of Zhuoyin. It wasn't exactly a puzzle. This absolute dog, he really is a smooth talker. Last time, Muzi, you had practically castrated the guy, but he clearly hadn't learned his lesson. The second his equipment was back in working order, he was out here causing trouble again, and he'd even managed to snag Zhuoyin's mistress. The Old Dream Empress drifted down, casually deflecting Zhuoyin's water dragon with a single flick of her wrist. She took one look at the scene and immediately pieced it together. A mocking smirk played on her lips. Looks like this home is ruined, too. Tusk, you really are homeless now, aren't you? She felt a sudden, refreshing wave of satisfaction. Zhuoyin's eyes were bloodshot. Old Dream, I'll settle my score with you later. First, I'm going to tear these two apart limb from limb. Old Dream glanced at the siren with pure disgust. When her gaze shifted to the West Sea Prince, her loathing only deepened. The siren was trash, but the West Sea Prince, a man who seduced married women, was even worse. They both deserved to die. But then she noticed the West Sea Prince seemed to know Fang Chen. "Fang Chen, what's your relationship with the West Sea Crown Prince?" she asked, her brow furrowed. Fang Chen quickly waved his hands. "I don't know him, not at all. I don't have friends like that." The West Sea Crown Prince jumped, quickly interjecting, "Brother Fang. We're sworn brothers, practically from different mothers and fathers. You're my savior, the one who saved my life. You can't just abandon me now?" Fang Chen simply rolled his eyes. "You womanize everywhere, even going after married women. And when things go wrong, you expect me to clean up your mess. Sister Jiumeng, let's step back for now. We can come back once they've settled their grievances." Hearing this, the Jiumeng Demon Emperor nodded. "I figured as much. How could you be friends with someone like that? Stay far away from people like him in the future, lest he corrupt you." PFFD, the West Sea Crown Prince, was so exasperated, he felt like spitting blood. Fang Chen had a cloudmist consort on his left, a sea siren on his right, and Ling Shu trailing behind him, chirping, "Brother." Brother, even the West Sea Crown Prince himself didn't have such an impressive entourage. Did this guy really need him to be led astray? Fang Chen adopted an innocent, compliant expression, understood Sister Jiumeng. Seeing that Jiumeng was no longer interfering, Zhuoyin's killing intent surged, and he moved to strike down the West Sea Crown Prince. But as he turned his head, he saw the female sea demon holding a human communication jade slip, frantically crying out, "Esteemed one, come quickly and save me." Fang Chen was speechless. Just how many men had this female sea demon been seeing behind Zhuoyin's back? As the jade slip shattered, the message was sent. Zhuoyin flew into a furious rage. He abandoned the West Sea Crown Prince and instantly flashed to the female sea demon, grabbing her by the neck. He roared, "You wicked woman! Just how many men have you been seeing behind my back?" Her neck cracked ominously under his grip. She tried to beg for mercy, but no sound escaped her throat. Just as her life hung by a thread, a heavy, cold scoff suddenly echoed across the sea. "Zhuoyin, if you don't want to die, release my woman." This human Nascent Soul Realm expert had been hiding nearby all along. Upon receiving the distress signal, he immediately rushed to her rescue. The seawater churned as a figure pierced through the surging ocean. It was a tall man, clad in Taoist robes, radiating a powerful Nascent Soul aura. From Mount Sanqing, Jiumeng's eyes narrowed. The tall, Taoist-robed figure descended, effortlessly blasting Zhuoyin away, then pulled the female sea demon into his arms. "Esteemed Zhaitong, that scoundrel almost snapped my neck." The female sea demon immediately threw herself into his embrace, weeping softly. It was only then that everyone clearly saw his face. His face was rather coarse and not particularly handsome, certainly no match for the dashing Zhuoyin. But his strength was truly immense, and the oppressive aura he exuded surpassed even Jiumeng's. Fang Chen's eyes glinted, judging by his physique. He bore a strong resemblance to the black, robed figure who had suppressed the East Sea Second Crown Prince that day. Their auras were remarkably similar. Zhuoyin recognized him, exclaiming in shock, "Esteemed Zhaitong." Esteemed Zhaitong was none other than the Mount Sanqing representative, specifically in charge of coordinating and exchanging the cold cicada Nirvana elixir with him. You've been stealing my woman all along, Zhuoyin roared. He was beyond furious. Esteemed Zhaitong said with a mocking smile, stealing. Tell this fool, whose woman are you? The female sea demon, nestled in his arms, cooed, Zhuoyin is naturally esteemed Zhaitong's woman. This time I even tricked them into giving me the mark to the North Sea Soul Formation ruins for you. She happily took out the blue flame mark and handed it to esteemed Zhaitong. The West Sea Crown Prince's face turned ghastly pale. He only just realized that the female sea demon had approached him with an ulterior motive, and he, blinded by lust, had foolishly given her the mark. Zhuoyin suddenly thought of something, stammering in a panic, then all the things I've stored with you over the years. Zhuoyin gave him a disdainful look and scoffed. What do you mean, yours? Those all belong to esteemed Zhaitong. Without the esteemed one's orders, I wouldn't have even bothered with a rotten South Sea scoundrel like you. What? Everything Zhuoyin had acquired from the South Sea over the years had been given to other men by Zhuoyin. It was all esteemed Zhaitong's scheme. He had used Zhuoyin to plunder the South Sea dry. Zhuoyin instantly felt an immense sense of betrayal, roaring with uncontrollable rage. Zhaitong, you played me. Esteemed Zhaitong sneered. Well, you have to be rotten enough to be tricked in the first place. Someone who oppresses his own people and hands their resources to outsiders like you is a rare sight even in my grand azure continent. Thank you for your efforts over the years. I've reaped many good things from the South Sea. My nascent soul is about to open its second aperture. Zhuoyin's eyes were bloodshot with fury. He had been treated like a fool, utterly played. I'll kill you. Zhuoyin charged forward in a rage, unleashing a watery dragon. Master Evil Eye let out a contemptuous sneer, a second-rate Nascent Soul Realm cultivator who rode his wife's coattails to the top, and you dare show off your parlor tricks in front of me. With a casual flick of his wrist, he sent Zhuoyin flying backward, coughing up blood. Heh, absolute trash. Since he's been exiled from the South Sea royal family, he's outlived his usefulness. From now on, you'll be serving me. There's no need to go back to this pathetic loser. Zhuoyin leaned into him, her voice dripping with sugar. Oh, wonderful. I was so sick of dealing with him anyway. Master, Evil Eye chuckled. He shifted his gaze to the old dream demon Empress, a wicked glint in his eye. Such a pity, the true treasure of the South Sea has always been you. I was hoping to use your husband to get my hands on you, but it seems that ship has sailed. Farewell, old dream demon Empress. I'm returning your lovely husband to you. Keeping his arm wrapped tightly around the female sea demon, Master Evil Eye turned to leave. The Empress's expression turned ice-cold. Who gave you permission to leave? Master Evil Eye raised a mocking brow. Oh, is the mighty old dream demon Empress looking to seek justice for her dear husband? The Empress scoffed. I couldn't care less if he lives or dies, but you're going to spit out everything Zhuoyin scammed out of the South Sea all these years. The sea demons of the South Sea had suffered a severe dip in power due to stolen resources. There was no way she was letting the mastermind behind it all just walk away. You and what army? Count me in. Zhuoyin wiped the blood from his mouth, his face twisted in pure hatred. My wife and I stand united. We'll kill you, you son of a bitch. Without another word, Zhuoyin charged forward. The Empress grimaced. Hearing the word stand united coming out of Zhuoyin's mouth made her physically sick. But he was already attacking, and it wasn't like she was going to stop him. She instantly threw herself into the fray as well. Master Evil Eye shoved Zhuoyin aside. You deal with those two brats. He then blitzed toward the two demon sovereigns. An explosive clash of power erupted on the spot. Destructive shockwaves ripped through the air, forcing Fang Chen and the West Sea Crown Prince to scramble back to a safe distance. Before they could even catch their breath, Fang Chen sensed a bone, chilling current surging right at them. It was Zhuoyin. The female sea demon was practically radiating murderous intent. Fang Chen kicked the West Sea Crown Prince out of the way. This is your romantic baggage. You deal with it. The Crown Prince stared at her, his face burning with humiliation. He honestly thought his undeniable charm had won over this gorgeous sea demon. Instead, he'd walked right into a trap to steal his ticket to the North Sea Soul Formation Realm ruins. And he'd played the fool perfectly. The realization fueled his rage. Water, element energy roared to life in his palms as he lunged forward to meet her attack. But the moment their powers clashed, the Crown Prince's face twisted in agony. He swayed violently on his feet before collapsing to the ground. Clutching his chest, he coughed up a sickening puddle of black blood. Zhuoyin touched down right in front of him, wiggling her slender fingers. A faint, unknown liquid glistened on her fingertips. It clicked instantly. Earlier, when she had been trailing those hands all over his body, she was actually seeping a lethal poison straight through his skin. And now, with a simple thought, she had triggered the venom. You venomous siren, cold sweat beaded on the Crown Prince's forehead as pain racked his body. The female sea demon covered her mouth, giggling uncontrollably. Takes one to know one. They don't call you the Toxic Touch Prince for nothing. The story of you giving that poor little fish demon a literal disease is famous across all 4 seas. She trailed a finger down his cheek. Such a shame. You're so handsome. I actually wanted to have a taste first. But alas, it's time for you to die, before she could finish her sentence. A strange, low incantation echoed beside her. 9 stars in the heavens, 9 palaces on the earth. 100 binds within me, 10,000 gods heed my call. The 3 corpses lie hidden, the 5 viscera flow free. The sudden hypnotic chant hit her like a truck. She staggered, a wave of intense dread washing over her. The oblivion chant? She gasped. She frantically channeled her water element abilities, trying to fight it off. But this was a secret technique of Mount Sanqing, a spell powerful enough to catch even Imperial Consort Yunxia off guard. What chance did a mere sea demon have? Her eyelids fluttered, and she slumped to the ground, dead to the world. But before her body even hit the floor, a purple sword already poised to strike slice through the air. The sea demon's gorgeous head tumbled off her shoulders and rolled across the ground. Fang Chen walked over and slapped the Crown Prince, who had also been knocked out by the spell's area of effect. Did I pass out? The Crown Prince rubbed his blurry eyes, thoroughly confused as to why he had suddenly blacked out. Fang Chen got straight to the point. How do we cure this poison? The Crown Prince glanced around until his eyes locked onto the sea demon's severed head. He stared at her flawless features and sighed mournfully. Man, how could you behead something so pretty? What an absolute waste. Fang Chen punched him hard in the chest. You hopeless idiot. She literally just tried to murder you, and you're still thinking with your lower half. Her corpse is still warm, if you want to go at it. The Crown Prince's eyes momentarily lit up. But after taking one look at the gruesome, bleeding stump of her neck, his libido instantly flatlined. Let's just find the antidote. She has to be carrying the cure on her somewhere. Fang Chen used his purple sword to rummage through the headless corpse's robes. Sure enough, he flicked out a strange stalk of purplish, green seaweed. The Crown Prince's face lit up. That's it. He scrambled over, grabbed the seaweed, and frantically stuffed it into his mouth, chewing like his life depended on it. Before long, the agony on his face began to fade, and he regained control over his body. Good brother, you've saved my life again. The Prince of the West Sea marveled. I never expected you to escape the Sky Demon Emperor, let alone end up as a lackey for the old Dream Demon Emperor. I really underestimated you, man. A lackey, I guess you could call it that. Fang Chen glanced toward the battlefield. Things weren't looking good for the old Dream Demon Emperor. Even with Zhuoyin's assistance, his strength wasn't enough to pose any real threat to the Evil Eye Lord. On the contrary, his presence was actually a liability. Old Dream was holding back, terrified of accidentally catching Zhuoyin in her crossfire. The Evil Eye Lord, however, had no such restraints. Consequently, Old Dream was losing ground. This couldn't go on. After a moment's thought, he grabbed the sea siren's severed head and impaled it onto his purple sword. From a safe distance, he manipulated the blade, sending it whistling into the center of the fray. The Evil Eye Lord was gloating. I'd heard that the old Dream Demon Emperor shared her tribulation lightning to save her husband, leaving her foundation weak and her power lacking. Looks like the rumors were true. You're barely even a demon emperor anymore. Since you've delivered yourself to me on a silver platter, I'll take what's mine with pleasure. He let out a wicked laugh, his gaze leering up and down Old Dream's long, seductive legs. Suddenly, a sword streaked through the air with a severed head dangling from the hilt. He didn't think much of it at first, but when he caught a glimpse of the face, his composure shattered. Zai, Ling. It wasn't that he truly loved the siren, but she had been by his side for years. You'd feel something for a dog if you raised it long enough, let alone a woman as loyal as her. In that split second of distraction, Old Dream saw her opening. Her eyes flashed with power as she unleashed an invisible blade of water. The Evil Eye Lord reacted quickly, but not enough to fully escape. The strike tore through his right chest, shredding his internal organs. Snarling in pain, he immediately retreated. Old Dream wasn't about to let this chance slip away. She pressed the attack instantly. Zhuoyin now, don't give him a chance to recover. If we time this right, we can cripple him and take him prisoner. A ruthless light flickered in Zhuoyin's eyes. He channeled his full water element power and slammed it directly into Old Dream's back. Old Dream was focused entirely on her enemy. She never expected her own husband to stab her in the back. From the distance, Fang Chen's face went pale as he saw the betrayal unfold. He desperately maneuvered the purple sword, aiming it straight at Zhuoyin's head. The interference worked. What was meant to be a fatal blow shifted, striking Old Dream in the shoulder instead. Old Dream let out a pained cry as a chunk of flesh was torn away, leaving a wound so deep the bone was visible. The Evil Eye Lord paused, staring at Zhuoyin in shocked confusion. Zhuoyin's face was a mask of malice. What are you looking at? Kill her with me. If she lives, she'll drag me back to the South Sea Palace for judgment. At best, I lose my cultivation. At worst, I'm imprisoned for eternity. The Evil Eye Lord finally understood. Zhuoyin had been helping her only to wait for the perfect moment to strike. Zhuoyin, you absolute piece of trash, but I love it, ha ha ha. In that case, let's send this bitch to the afterlife. Fueled by fury, the injured Evil Eye Lord stopped holding back and went for the kill. Old Dream was suddenly in mortal danger. Her shoulder wound left one arm useless, and she was now trapped in a pincer attack between two enemies. Zhuoyin, Old Dream screamed, her voice dripping with rage. To be betrayed by him at such a critical moment, he was even more loathsome than the man who had tricked her. Her heart turned to absolute ice. Zhuoyin spat, shut up, and just die. She was cornered, her life hanging by a thread. Fang Chen gritted his teeth and pulled out a precious talisman arrow, mourning the loss. He'd hoped to save it for Ling Yin. But if Old Dream died here, those two would never let him leave alive. Without another thought, he activated the arrow and aimed it straight at the Evil Eye Lord. Boom! The sudden explosive power of the talisman arrow caught the Evil Eye Lord off guard, forcing him to dive for cover. Old Dream was overjoyed. Seizing the opening, she coordinated her strikes with the arrow's blast. Thrown onto the defensive, the Evil Eye Lord roared in frustration. Zhuoyin, forget about her for a second. Kill that human kid before he ruins everything. He's the one who threw the head and distracted me. He's the reason I got hit. Now this little brat is getting involved too. Zhuoyin had been itching to kill Fang Chen. He whipped his head around with a murderous glare and lunged. You little bastard, your time is up. Fang Chen's expression hardened. Even if Zhuoyin was nothing compared to a true Nascent Soul Demon King, he was still a rogue Nascent Soul expert. His power far exceeded a peak Golden Core Cultivator. The Prince of the West Sea scrambled back in terror. Brother. Fang Chen was livid. This disloyal piece of trash. He spat. You messed with his woman. Do you really think he's just going to let you walk away? If I go down, you're next. We're better off taking him on together. The prince realized he was right. He'd nearly cuckolded the man. There was no way Zhuoyin would let him slide. He had no choice but to brace himself and stand his ground with Fang Chen. We just have to hold out. My father should be here any second. The moment he'd been wounded, he had secretly sent out a distress signal. Backup had to be close. Fang Chen felt a surge of relief. The guy wasn't a total idiot, calling for his old man at the first sign of trouble. But who knew if they could survive until the West Sea Demon King arrived? A deafening blast echoed as Master Evil Eye let out a pained grunt, clearly wounded by the talisman arrow. Wounded twice now, he could no longer maintain his advantage. He roared from across the battlefield, Zhuoyin, finish this, now. Zhuoyin churned the massive currents, tearing through the water toward Fang Chen and the prince. You two miserable curs, I'll kill you both. Fang Chen groaned, Prince, pull out your secret weapon already. This is your fault for hitting on his wife and pissing him off. The prince sighed. It was true, he'd brought this grudge on himself. But the words sent Zhuoyin into a frenzy. Fang, you little prick, you have the nerve to talk. Did you enjoy undressing my wife? Was it fun getting your hands on her? I'm going to tear you limb from limb and burn your remains to ash. The prince felt like he'd been struck by lightning. He looked at the legendary beauty, Demon King Jiumeng, in the distance. Then he looked at Fang Chen, standing there looking all righteous and noble, and felt like screaming. You actually seduced the South Sea Demon King. I wouldn't even dare to dream of that. Fang Chen, you lucky bastard. I hate you. He was so green with envy, his eyes were practically glowing red. He suddenly lost all motivation to help. Fang Chen got all the action, and now he had to help pay the bill. He felt like a total sucker. Fang Chen's face flushed. Shut up and fight. Bolts of lightning began to surge through his body. Pretty boy, Zhuoyin sneered. A mere golden core brat dares to challenge a demon king, know your place. With a casual flick of his wrist, he unleashed a devastating blade of water that cleaved through the depths toward Fang Chen. It was the one attack in his arsenal that truly hit with the force of a demon king, far beyond the power of any peak golden core cultivator. The prince's skin crawled. This was out of his league. He fired off a defensive spell and scrambled out of the way. Fang Chen's eyes flared with light. 6 paths of heavenly thunder indestructible blade, an 800-foot blade of crackling lightning fell from the heavens, slashing down with divine fury. It slammed into the water blade, the impact sending a massive shockwave through the ocean floor. The lightning blade shattered, sending arcs of electricity dancing across Zhuoyin's body and leaving him scorched and blackened. The water blade also disintegrated. Shards of water flew toward Fang Chen, but he was ready, holding up the mirror of heaven's oversight. The mirror reflected the remaining force of the strike perfectly. Fang Chen didn't take a scratch, though the impact forced him back a few steps. Zhuoyin touched the burn marks on his face, stunned. You actually blocked me. He couldn't wrap his head around it. Fang Chen was only at the 8th level of the Golden Core Realm. If he ever reached the peak, would he be able to crush a rogue, nascent soul expert like himself? Then he noticed something and sneered. That strike drained your lightning reserves. Let's see how many more hits you can take. He unleashed another devastating water blade. Fang Chen gritted his teeth. Vast God Lord. Golden lines coalesced behind him into a majestic, divine avatar. Its 6 arms moved in perfect sync with Fang Chen, launching 6 golden punches that tore through the current and shattered the water blade. Both were sent reeling back. Zhuoyin couldn't accept it. This pretty boy he looked down on was actually holding his own. Driven mad by the humiliation, Zhuoyin attacked like a lunatic. Fang Chen countered with his divine avatar, and under the protection of his mirror, he fought the demon to a standstill. The prince watched from a safe distance, gasping in shock. Damn. No wonder he had the balls to hit on that guy's wife. He's actually got the skills to back it up. Seeing Zhuoyin held up by a mere boy, Master Evil Eye cursed. You useless failure. You can't even handle a golden core brat. Demon King Jiumeng's eyes sparkled with surprise and delight. She knew Zhuoyin wasn't weak, only another nascent soul expert should be able to challenge him. She never expected Fang Chen to be such a dark horse. Her joy doubled as she felt a massive surge in the currents. The powerful aura of the West Sea Demon King was charging toward them. Sensing the approach, Master Evil Eye's face went pale. He didn't dare stay. After a few desperate, wide, swinging strikes to force Jiumeng back, he prepared to bolt. Zhuoyin felt the aura too. His expression twisted with rage. He gave Fang Chen one last hateful glare. Consider yourself lucky. With that, he turned and fled. Seeing his partner desert him, Master Evil Eye let out a final curse, shoved Jiumeng back with everything he had, and vanished into the darkness. Fang Chen saw the Evil Eye Master trying to bolt. He checked the fading green glow on his infinite ring, gritted his teeth, and activated it. Suddenly, an overwhelming force slammed into the Evil Eye Master. With a deafening crash, he was pinned deep into the dirt. The old Dream Demon Empress froze for a second before realizing Fang Chen had used that mysterious ring again. She didn't waste the opening. Pressing her palms together, she swung down, launching a lethal blade of water his way. Terrified, the Evil Eye Master triggered a desperate escape spell. A crimson light enveloped him, warping him away just in time, mostly. A blood-curdling scream echoed as his severed arm hit the ground, blood spraying everywhere while the rest of him vanished. Luck wasn't on his side. Violent energy erupted at the horizon. He'd run straight into the West Sea Demon Emperor. Old Dream and her group rushed over. By the time they arrived, the area around the West Sea Emperor was stained red, but the Evil Eye Master was nowhere to be seen. The bastard burned a massive amount of blood essence to escape. Hard to pin down a rat like that, the bald West Sea Emperor muttered, holding a severed eyeball between 2 fingers. The Evil Eye Master might have escaped, but the West Sea Emperor had literally ripped an eye out of his head. Between losing an arm, an eye, and burning through his life force twice, he was physically ruined. All the resources he'd swindled from the south, sea over the years, were officially gone for nothing. The West Sea Prince ran over, grinning, but his father just shot him a glare before bowing to the Empress. Old Dream, thank you for saving my son. The Old Dream Empress shrugged her mangled right shoulder with a bitter smile. I could barely save myself, let alone anyone else. If you want to thank someone, thank my brother, Fang Chen. Without him, none of us would have made it out of there. The West Sea Emperor looked at the young man beside her, his eyebrows shooting up in surprise. Fang Chen, what are you doing here? Weren't you headed for the East Sea? Fang Chen gave a strained laugh. It's a long story. Running into the prince was just a fluke, and helping him out was no trouble at all. Don't mention it, Emperor. Hearing Fang Chen being so humble, the Empress chimed in, slapping him on the shoulder with pride. Don't let him fool you, Emperor. That battle was a nightmare. After she finished the story, the West Sea Emperor was floored. You went toe-to-toe with the Zhuoyin Demon Emperor. What kind of monster is the Pavilion of Secrets raising? An 8th level Golden Core Realm Cultivator holding his own against a Nascent Soul powerhouse. It's unheard of. He'd even used spirit arrows and the infinite ring to flip the script. The Emperor looked at Fang Chen, then at his own son, and his temper flared. He smacked the prince upside the head. Look at him. Fang Chen is younger than you, and he's already brawling with Nascent Soul Masters. All you care about is chasing girls. You almost got yourself killed for it this time. How did the West Sea end up with such a pathetic disappointment? The prince rubbed his head, wincing. Dad, don't let Fang Chen fool you. He's into girls too. He just plays the high. Endgame. His first move was, he stopped dead. Fang Chen and the Empress were both glaring at him like they were about to murder him. He cleared his throat nervously. Anyway, his women are powerful, like seriously powerful. The Emperor smacked him again. That's because he's got talent. If you've got the skills, go ahead and play the high. Endgame too. The prince's face crumbled. How am I supposed to compete with that? He thought. The woman he's with is a demon empress who rules the seas just like you, Dad. The West Sea Emperor was fuming. Before comparing him to Fang Chen, he thought his son was at least decent. Better than Zhuoyin anyway. But now he honestly wanted to throw him away and start over. Noticing Fang Chen looked exhausted, the Emperor thought for a moment and tossed him the eyeball he'd ripped from the Evil Eye Master. You did us a huge favor last time, and I never rewarded you. Consider this eye a down payment. Fang Chen stared at the bloody eyeball, wondering what on earth he was supposed to do with it. The Empress's eyes lit up, and she snatched it for him. This is a real treasure. The Evil Eye Master was born with a double pupil. This eye can see through any deception, invisibility, illusions, charms. Nothing gets past it. Even a human middle grade pure soul talisman is useless against this gaze. The West Sea Emperor really did a number on him. Fang Chen, if you refine this into a magical artifact, it'll be a literal life saver. Fang Chen's eyes brightened. Now that sounded like a prize. He usually used invisibility to catch enemies off guard, so he knew exactly how dangerous a hidden foe could be. With this eye, he'd have a massive layer of protection. All the energy he'd spent on his arrows and the infinite ring was worth it for this one item. The Evil Eye Master really took a hit. Fang Chen joked, losing his only double pupil. That's gotta hurt. It's a shame about Zhuoyin, though. We came for him, but he managed to slip away. The Empress frowned. That snake, who knows where he's hiding, he'll probably crawl out of the shadows to bite us when we least expect it. The West Sea Emperor's expression went cold. He hurt my son. He's not leaving my waters alive. I brought the clan's elites. We've already set a massive dragnet for hundreds of miles. Just then, a strange sonic pulse rippled through the water from the distance. The Emperor's brow relaxed. They found him. He blurred into motion, dragging the prince along as they sped off. The Empress looked relieved. Finally, instant karma for that bastard. Fang Chen thought for a moment. Old dream, are you still planning on letting him live? He betrayed you. He nearly got you killed. Her expression darkened. After a long silence, she shook her head. Anyone else can kill him, but I can't. I'm his wife, and I gave the former emperor my word on his deathbed that I'd look after him. Duty and honor won't let me do it. Fang Chen frowned. What about the South Sea elders? She shook her head again. They won't kill him either. She lowered her gaze and sighed. The South Sea needs a demon emperor to hold things together. The only reason I can lead them is because I'm Zhuoyin's wife. That title gives me authority. If he dies, who am I? Why would they follow me? No matter what, he has to stay alive. And she trailed off, her eyes filling with frustration and helplessness, looking at Fang Chen, the man who had saved her life time and again. She finally felt like she could vent. The elders have been pressuring me to have his child. They want an heir for the royal line. To sleep with a man like that, to carry his child, Fang Chen, what am I supposed to do? Fang Chen could feel her agony. He understood it all too well. It was just like when he was being forced into a situation he loathed. He'd rather die than be part of something so repulsive. For someone like the Empress, being with a piece of trash like Zhuoyin was a fate worse than death. If she had a choice, she'd be just like him. She'd choose death over being with that man. After a long silence, a cold light flickered in Fang Chen's eyes, though his face remained unreadable. Things will work themselves out, old dream. There's always a way. The Empress felt a pang of disappointment. She'd hoped for comfort, but got nothing but a hollow platitude. She sighed softly. I suppose pain is something you can't truly share. I shouldn't have burdened you. Come on, let's go find Zhuoyin before the West Sea kills him. When they arrived, Zhuoyin was a bloody mess on the ground. Standing over him was a battered looking Zhu Yinghen, the West Sea Emperor's top general. Despite being a 9th-level Golden Core Realm Cultivator, his power was staggering. He'd managed to pin Zhuoyin down until the Emperor arrived. Demon Emperor Jiumeng, this man is your husband. I merely roughed him up a bit. The rest is up to you. The West Sea Demon Emperor smoothed out his blood-stained sleeves. It was blindingly obvious that Zhuoyin's miserable state was the direct result of a father's wrathful vengeance. Zhuoyin scrambled forward as if granted a royal pardon, hair disheveled and face smeared with grime and blood. He dragged himself toward Demon Emperor Jiumeng. Jiumeng! Hurry, take me back to the South Sea. He didn't doubt for a second that if the West Sea Demon Emperor hadn't been wary of Jiumeng, he would have been slaughtered on the spot. Jiumeng stared down at him, her face a mask of utter indifference. With a sudden swing of her leg, she drove her foot hard into his abdomen. A terrifying surge of demonic energy ripped through his body, violently shattering his cultivation. His demonic power and innate abilities dissolved into nothingness. In an instant, he was reduced to a mere mortal, with a physique barely stronger than an average sea demon. Zhuoyin howled in agony, clutching his stomach as he writhed and thrashed on the ground. Just like that, a generational demon emperor of the South Sea was utterly crippled. It took him a long time to catch his breath. Shaking, he struggled to his feet. He had accepted his fate. Being a cripple was still better than being a corpse. Besides, once he returned to the South Sea, no one would dare lay a hand on him anyway. At that thought, a wave of relief washed over him. His gaze shifted to Fang Chen, his eyes momentarily flashing with pure hatred. But then a sickeningly smug smirk crept onto his face. He hobbled over to Fang Chen, his tone dripping with malice. Disappointed, Fang Chen, my dear wife didn't kill me after all, but the real disappointment is yet to come. The South Sea's royal bloodline needs an heir, so whether Jiumeng likes it or not, sooner or later she'll be forced into my bed. I'll conquer her. She'll obediently bear my seed and give birth to our child. Makes your blood boil, doesn't it? Don't you just want to kill me? I'll who her? Fang Chen offered a faint, unbothered smile. You're overthinking things. That's South Sea business. Why would a human like me interfere? I wish you two a happy reconciliation. Zhuoyin's smirk froze. He hadn't managed to get under Fang Chen's skin at all. What he didn't realize was that behind Fang Chen's back, his fingers were casually toying with a certain hair crown. With the ordeal finally over, an immense weight lifted from Demon Emperor Jiumeng's shoulders. The lethal grip of the cold cicada silence pill was shattered for good. And the lingering threat that was Zhuoyin had finally been neutralized. For the first time in over a decade, she could truly breathe. If she were entirely alone right now, she would grab a jug of wine and dance beneath the moonlight. Of course, there was a bitter pill to swallow alongside this victory. It was time to say goodbye to Fang Chen. What are your plans now? Demon Emperor Jiumeng looked at him, her gaze incredibly soft. Fang Chen tapped his forehead thoughtfully. I'll probably head over to the North Sea. He had originally planned to wait until he collected 3 Nascent Soul Realm souls before testing his luck at the Soul Formation ruins in the North Sea, hoping to find a drop of Soul Formation essence blood. But with Nascent Soul Realm heavyweights like Venerable Evil Eye actively hunting for entry tokens, the competition was heating up. He couldn't afford to wait. If someone else beat him to the punch, gathering those souls would be completely pointless. Are you leaving right away? Jiumeng asked softly, a trace of reluctance tugging at her heart. Right then, the West Sea Demon Emperor strode over. Since you've made it all the way here, how could I just let you leave? He boomed. One of you is the Demon Emperor of the South Sea, and the other is the savior of my son's life. If I don't properly host you both, outsiders will say the West Sea has no manners. Jiumeng shook her head. I'll have to pass. Just make sure you take good care of little brother Fang. I need to drag Zhuoyin back and deal with him before things get complicated. The West Sea Demon Emperor opened his mouth to protest, but decided against pressing the issue. He knew Jiumeng's temperament all too well. The affairs of the South Sea always came first, everything else was a distant second. With such pressing matters to attend to, there was no way she'd stay for some trivial banquet. Sister Jiumeng, you should stay. Leaving tomorrow won't hurt. Fang Chen spoke up, trying to persuade her to stay. Jiumeng tucked a stray lock of hair behind her ear, hesitating. What about Zhuoyin? Fang Chen threw a casual glance at the crippled demon. His cultivation is entirely ruined. What kind of trouble could he possibly stir up now? Just think of it as keeping me company while I explore the West Sea. Jiumeng hadn't planned on staying, but hearing those last few words, she found herself nodding in agreement as if under a spell. All right then, I suppose we'll be imposing on the West Sea Demon Emperor. No imposition at all? The West Sea Demon Emperor beamed outwardly, but inside he was absolutely gobsmacked. What the hell? Demon Emperor Jiumeng was actually putting off the official affairs of the South Sea for a leisure banquet. Standing off to the side, the Crown Prince of the West Sea watched the exchange, grinding his teeth in sheer envy. Just one keep me company, and the Demon Emperor of the South Sea instantly surrenders. It would take me at least 2 decades to even scratch the surface of Brother Fang's skills. The West Sea Demon Emperor threw a lavish banquet to host Fang Chen and the Demon Empress of past dreams. My young friend Fang, you mentioned heading to the North Sea. Is there a pressing reason you have to go? The West Sea Demon Emperor asked midway through the feast. Fang Chen thought for a moment and decided to be honest. It wasn't exactly a well-kept secret anyway. It's nothing hidden. A few months ago, the North Sea Demons gifted me an entry token to the Soul Formation Realm ruins. Since I was already making a trip across the boundless sea, I figured I'd swing by the north and settle the matter. A chorus of gasps and amazed whispers rippled through the crowd. Sitting beside him, the Demon Empress of past dreams exclaimed, "The North Sea Demons actually willingly gave you an entry token to the Soul Formation Realm ruins. That's unbelievable. Demon Emperor, Yizhu and I asked for one personally, and they flat out rejected us. They refused to trade it, no matter what price we offered." The West Sea Demon Emperor was equally shocked. Young friend Fang, you truly are favored by our sea demon clans. To think the North Sea would just hand over something so priceless to you. The only reason my West Sea was lucky enough to secure a single token was because we suffered heavy casualties rushing to their aid during a crisis. They made an exception and gave us one purely out of gratitude for that blood debt. A wave of realization hit Fang Chen. He hadn't realized just how fiercely the North Sea guarded those Soul Formation Realm entry tokens. The other 3 seas couldn't even beg for a single slot, yet he had practically been handed one. It was all thanks to Bai Chu violently forcing that duel and using the token as a betting chip. Speaking of the West Sea's entry token, Fang Chen glanced over at the Crown Prince. The prince currently had his face buried in his bowl, furiously shoveling food into his mouth to avoid eye contact. Right about now, the guy was probably sweating bullets. The Demon Empress of past dreams clicked her tongue. Flirting with a married woman, falling for her trap, losing an incredibly precious Soul Formation Realm token, and nearly getting himself killed in the process. Fang Chen was infinitely better. He would never mess with a married woman. Remembering what had happened between her and Fang Chen inside the array, her cheeks flushed crimson. Okay, maybe he would, but at least he didn't sneak around like a coward. He was bold and completely upfront about it. Regardless, he was cut from a completely different cloth than a loser like the West Sea Crown Prince. Fang Chen, since you also have a Soul Formation token, why not team up with my disappointing son? The West Sea Demon Emperor's eyes lit up. I was just worrying he'd get bullied going in alone. With you looking out for him, I'd feel a million times better. Fang Chen's mouth twitched. He had originally planned to help cover up the prince's massive screw-up. But there was no saving him now. The West Sea Crown Prince was officially on his own. I have no problem with it, but that depends on the Crown Prince's opinion. The West Sea Demon Emperor looked mildly confused. What possible objection could the prince have? Why would Fang Chen even say that? He looked back at his son, who was still stubbornly burying his face in his food. A sudden, heavy sense of dread settled in the pit of his stomach. Take out your flame mark for the Soul Formation ruins. Let me see it. The prince looked up, his face covered in stray grains of rice, as he forced an incredibly awkward, strained smile. What's there to look at? It's not like I could have lost it, right? The West Sea Demon Emperor slammed his hands down and shot up from his seat. Sheer panic flashed across his face. No one knew this boy better than his own father. He knew every single one of his son's pathetic tells. This kind of guilty deflecting meant only one thing. The token was absolutely gone. Coupled with how he had just been played by that female sea demon. A deafening roar wiped his mind completely blank. Did you seriously let a female siren con you out of the flame mark? The West Sea Crown Prince's eyes darted around. Clutching his stomach, he groaned, "Dad!" My stomach is killing me. I gotta go. With that, he turned to bolt. The West Sea Demon Emperor nearly blacked out from sheer rage. The flame mark was absolutely priceless, yet this disappointment of a son let a woman scam him out of it. Stomachache, I'm about to make every bone in your body ache. He whipped out a leather lash. Crack, the phantom strike sent the crown prince tumbling through the air with a pitiful shriek. His robes were shredded across the chest, leaving behind a vicious, bleeding welt. Fang Chen winced just watching it hurt. The West Sea Demon Emperor really didn't hold back on his own flesh and blood. Howling in agony, the crown prince scrambled toward Fang Chen. Brother Fang, save me. Please, you have to save me. My dad is going to whip me to death. Fang Chen rolled his eyes at the pathetic display. The idiot never learned his lesson. Getting beaten to death was exactly what he deserved. Then again, he had fleeced the guy out of an entire chest of water source essence. So he might as well throw him a bone. He turned to the Old Dream Demon Emperor. Sister Old Dream, let the West Sea have a copy of that pill recipe too. Old Dream pouted, clearly reluctant. I traded 10 protective luminous pearls for that recipe. Why should the West Sea get it for free? Am I, the ruler of the South Sea, the only sucker here? Absolutely not. The 4 seas are supposed to be one family. The West Sea doesn't get a free pass. Her beautiful eyes flashed with calculation as she offered a meaningful smile. West Sea Demon Emperor, a little bird told me your royal family uncovered another heaven-deceiving divine pearl. Is that true? The West Sea Demon Emperor blanched, forcing a bitter laugh. Old Dream, where on earth did you hear such an absurd rumor? The heaven-deceiving divine pearl went completely extinct after a single one was found 300 years ago. If we actually had another, the divine sex of the great Azure continent would have trampled our palace doors into splinters by now. Please, don't joke about such things. You'll bring a world of trouble down upon the West Sea for absolutely no reason. Listening in, Fang Chen immediately caught onto Old Dream's scheme. Misery loved company. She had been forced to pay a hefty price, so she was absolutely going to rip the umbrella out of the West Sea's hands and drag them out into the rain with her. Sister Old Dream, Fang Chen whispered, what exactly is a heaven-deceiving divine pearl? Old Dream murmured, 300 years ago, the former crown prince of the West Sea rushed his breakthrough to the Demon Emperor realm. He was on the verge of total failure. Do you know what happens when someone fails to reach the Demon Emperor realm? Fang Chen nodded. They get corrupted by impure Kai, crippling their chances of ever reaching the realm again. Concubine Yunxia is walking proof of that. If she hadn't gotten her hands on Lord King's mind, calming Lotus Silk Whisk, her cultivation path would have been permanently dead. Well, as that crown prince watched his breakthrough fall apart, he pulled out a magical artifact, the heaven-deceiving divine pearl. And just like that, the breakthrough was paused. He took 3 months to regroup, resumed the process, and finally achieved the Demon Emperor realm. Fang Chen's eyes widened in shock. Wait, you can pause a breakthrough. How can facing a heavenly tribulation be treated like a game? If Old Dream hadn't sounded so dead serious, he would have called her crazy. A tribulation was a matter of life and death, an absolute trial of the heavens. The idea that it could just be hit with a pause button was unfathomable. Old Dream nodded firmly. I know it sounds impossible. I didn't believe it at first either, but the official chronicles of all 4 seas have recorded it. The heaven-deceiving divine pearl had never been seen before, nor has one ever appeared since. In the thousands of years of our history, that single pearl was the only one. The reigning demon emperor of the time coined its name. Heaven-deceiving, to blind the very eyes of the heavenly Tao, that pearl literally achieved the impossible. A trace of lingering disbelief colored her voice. The pearl not only forces the heavenly tribulation to temporarily disperse, but it perfectly preserves the cultivator's breakthrough opportunity. Do you grasp how unimaginably valuable that is? Fang Chen's heart hammered against his ribs. That was worth way more than some luminous pearls. Finding the opportunity to break through to the Nascent Soul Realm was notoriously, agonizingly difficult. Hell, Fang Chen was currently stressing over gathering the single drop of blood and 3 souls required for his fate-altering jade tablet. Take the Tiger Demon Emperor, an absolute powerhouse bordering on the soul formation realm who dominated an entire era. Out of all the treasures he left behind, there were only 3 measly chances for a Demon Emperor breakthrough. And then there was the Directorate of Celestial Observance's bounty capture an ancient giant, and they'd reward you with a single Nascent Soul Realm breakthrough opportunity. Other than those 2 instances, he hadn't heard a single whisper of another Nascent Soul Realm opportunity anywhere. For the Heaven-Deceiving Divine Pearl to salvage a failing breakthrough and freeze the opportunity in time that was flat, out-game, breaking. It practically gave a cultivator a second life during their trial. If things went south, they could hit pause, stock up, and try again. Pure greed flared in Fang Chen's chest. He turned to the furious monarch, West Sea Demon Emperor. This junior is willing to trade a pill recipe for. He glanced down at the West Sea Crown Prince. Originally, he was going to use the recipe to spare the idiot a beating, but now, to hell with the Crown Prince, he wanted that Heaven-Deceiving Divine Pearl. The West Sea Demon Monarch forced a wry smile. Young Master Fang, why are you listening to old Dream Demon Monarch's nonsense too? Where would my West Sea even conjure such a thing? Old Dream Demon Monarch merely chuckled. West Sea Demon Monarch, this is the formula for the cold cicada Nirvana elixir. Are you sure you don't want it? The wry smile on the West Sea Demon Monarch's face vanished, replaced by stark shock. He quickly scanned his surroundings, then decisively sealed the main hall doors and erected a sound-proof water barrier. The cold cicada Nirvana elixir formula. Old Dream Demon Monarch, you can't just throw around such words. If Sanqing Mountain hears of this, who knows what kind of trouble we'll be inviting. The incident with the third princess of the East Sea is a recent, stark warning. Old Dream Demon Monarch stated, this pill formula has been personally verified by the East Sea Demon Monarch. It is absolutely genuine. The West Sea Demon Monarch gasped sharply, immediately understanding the implications. The Heaven-Deceiving Divine Pearl could at most help the Sea Demon clan birth one monarch realm expert, but even with an additional monarch, it wouldn't change the West Sea's century-long fate of being choked by Sanqing Mountain. So, was there any question which was more valuable? He looked at Fang Chen with blazing eyes. Young Master Fang, are you certain this pill formula is genuine? Fang Chen nodded. If it's fake, the demon monarchs of the East, South, and West Seas are welcome to find me at the Heavenly Secret Pavilion. The West Sea Demon Monarch no longer harbored any doubts. With the East Sea Demon Monarch's verification and the Heavenly Secret Pavilion's endorsement, how could someone as astute as Fang Chen dare to play games with a matter as crucial as the destiny of the Four Seas clans? If it were truly a forgery, he understood the consequences better than anyone. He immediately declared, excellent, excellent. Thanks to young friend Fang's great fortune, you've brought such an astonishing gift to my West Sea. The Heaven-Deceiving Divine Pearl is yours. He decisively pulled a crystal box from his robes. Inside lay a crimson, perfectly spherical pearl, resembling unpolished jade. Strange currents of energy swirled within it, resembling some ancient script, or perhaps intricate runes. Upon closer inspection, they seemed like specific trajectories, profoundly enigmatic. Fang Chen's heart surged with excitement. He decisively transcribed the pill formula from memory and handed it to the West Sea Demon Monarch. The latter clutched the formula, then cross-referenced it with the handwritten version from Relic Pearl Demon Monarch that Old Dream Demon Monarch held. After confirming every single detail matched perfectly, he burst into boisterous laughter. Those bastards from Sanqing Mountain, my West Sea will finally no longer have to suffer your whims. He summoned the West Sea Crown Prince to his side and gave him a hearty thump on the chest. You brat, befriending young Master Fang is the greatest contribution you've ever made to the West Sea. I'll let you off the hook for the Soul Formation Ruins incident. From now on, interact more with young Master Fang and spend less time chasing women. The West Sea Crown Prince, as if granted a royal pardon, quickly cupped his fists towards Fang Chen. Brother Fang, your immense life, saving grace is something I can never repay. Let's keep in frequent contact from now on. Old Dream Demon Monarch rolled her eyes at him, looking displeased at the idea of him interacting with Fang Chen. Her captivating gaze shifted, I say. West Sea Crown Prince, shouldn't you perhaps reconsider your form of address? Fang Chen is Relic Pearl Demon Monarch's and my sworn younger brother. If you call him Brother Fang too, wouldn't that mean you're placing yourself on equal footing with us? Then we'd have to start calling your father an elder. Upon hearing this, the West Sea Demon Monarch immediately kicked the West Sea Crown Prince. You tactless idiot. Then he cupped his fists towards Fang Chen. Young friend Fang, if you don't mind, perhaps you and I should also become sworn brothers. Although he didn't know why Old Dream and Relic Pearl Demon Monarchs had both taken Fang Chen as a sworn younger brother. Those two were shrewd individuals. They wouldn't do anything without a clear benefit. He figured becoming sworn brothers himself couldn't possibly be wrong. Fang Chen, of course, had no objections. He immediately raised his cup to you. Speaking of which, he still didn't know the West Sea Demon Monarch's Taoist name. Even old Dream Demon Monarch had consistently referred to him as West Sea Demon Monarch, seemingly avoiding calling out his actual Taoist name. The West Sea Demon Monarch looked embarrassed. He muttered sheepishly, "My Taoist name is Great Sun Demon Monarch." Old Dream Demon Monarch heard this and pursed her lips, barely suppressing a giggle. Even the West Sea Crown Prince lowered his head, secretly chuckling. Fang Chen blinked, his face full of confusion. "Brother, is there something wrong with the Taoist name Great Sun Demon Monarch? In the Buddhist sects, Great Sun represents wisdom and light. Such a Taoist name should be excellent." The West Sea Demon Monarch grew even more embarrassed. He helplessly rubbed his bald forehead. He lowered his head towards Fang Chen, pointing his gleaming bald forehead directly at him. The surrounding light hit his smooth forehead, reflecting outwards like a small, glowing sun. Fang Chen instantly understood. This Taoist name, a beautiful title for anyone else, was a blatant personal attack when used for the West Sea Demon Monarch. No wonder Old Dream Demon Monarch avoided using that Taoist name. If anyone dared to call the West Sea Demon Monarch Great Sun Demon Monarch, he'd surely rip off his shoe and chase them down for a beating. The corner of Fang Chen's mouth twitched. Isn't this ancient sage will just plain bullying? The Taoist names of the East Sea and South Sea Demon Monarchs are so profound. One is Relic Pearl of the Vast Sea, the other Old Dream of Jiumeng. But for you, brother, it's just a crude joke. The West Sea Demon Monarch sighed softly. After all these years, someone was finally speaking up for him. He warily pointed to the sky. "Little brother, thank you for speaking up for me, but watch what you say. Be careful, or the same might happen to you one day." A muscle in Fang Chen's cheek twitched. He was genuinely worried that when he broke through to the Nascent Soul Realm, this ancient sage's will would act up and bestow upon him some ridiculous title like Rogue Venerable. He'd surely curse on the spot. "Then I'll just call you Old Brother West," Fang Chen said. The West Sea Demon Monarch nodded repeatedly. "Perfect, perfect. As long as it's not Old Brother Great Sun, anything else is fine." Old Dream Demon Monarch composed her features and added, "Oh, right. I've also bestowed upon Fang Chen the title of Honorary King of the South Sea." The West Sea Demon Monarch waved his hand grandly. "Then I, too, shall bestow upon Brother Fang the title of Honorary King of the West Sea." And thus, Fang Chen, the Dual Sea King, was born. Fang Chen shot Old Dream Demon Emperor a grateful look, thankful she'd secured such a benefit for him. Old Dream Demon Emperor offered a faint smile, a deep satisfaction filling her heart. Still, she couldn't help but feel a flicker of envy as she gazed at the Heaven-Deceiving Divine Pearl in his hand. She asked West Sea Demon Emperor, where exactly did this Heaven-Deceiving Divine Pearl come from? Could you shed some light on it? Overwhelmed by curiosity, she noted that nothing like it had ever appeared before. No historical records mentioned such a divine pearl. It was as if it had materialized out of thin air. The West Sea Demon Emperor forced a bitter smile. "I wish I knew where it came from. You won't believe it, but this Heaven-Deceiving Divine Pearl simply fell from the sky. It happened a century ago, and it happened again just now. A random pearl just dropped out of nowhere, and our sea demons found it and brought it to the Imperial Palace." Old Dream Demon Emperor's face was filled with astonishment, and even Fang Chen clicked his tongue in wonder as he gazed at the divine pearl in his palm. So this Heaven-Deceiving Divine Pearl wasn't born of the ocean, but descended from the heavens. What exactly was happening beyond the boundless azure sky? Not only had ancient giants fallen from there, but now this Heaven-Deceiving Divine Pearl too. The few individuals in the hall pondered these mysteries for a long time. As the wine flowed and the banquet concluded, everyone felt a pleasant tipsiness. They were then led to their respective chambers to rest. Perhaps it was due to the moon-gazing wine, but Fang Chen's alcohol tolerance seemed to have significantly improved. By the time he reached his room, he was already completely sober. He sat cross-legged, first retrieving the eyeball of the evil eye Venerable, and began to refine it. After a short half-day, the gory eyeball had transformed into a crystal, clear, translucent bead resembling a finely carved crystal. To ensure he could access it at any moment, he strung it onto a sturdy cord and hung it around his neck. As he finished, a faint light filtered into the guest room. The morning sun must already be high above the sea surface, he thought. Seeing that Old Dream Demon Emperor still hadn't departed, he realized it was time to take care of something. The West Sea Sky Prison. Typically, several late-stage Golden Core Realm sea demons were stationed there, with First Marshal Minister Zhuoyin personally overseeing the defenses. This location temporarily held an exceedingly important prisoner Zhuoyin, the former South Sea Demon Emperor. Zhuoyin, having accepted his fate, quickly adapted to his new identity as a prisoner. He ate and drank to his heart's content, humming little tunes, seemingly enjoying himself. Zhuoyin, it's time for you to come out. Jiang Huan stepped forward and unlatched the cell's chains. Upon hearing this, Zhuoyin immediately grew wary. Who's here for me? Unless it's Old Dream, I'm not going anywhere with anyone else. He understood the situation. Clearly many wished him dead, but only Old Dream Demon Emperor and the South Sea royal family would truly protect him. Therefore, he trusted no one but Old Dream Demon Emperor and refused to follow anyone else. It is I, a cool, crisp voice replied. It was Old Dream Demon Emperor. Zhuoyin's face lit up. He instantly dropped the wine he was holding and scurried out of the cell. Reaching the entrance, he spotted a graceful silhouette in a light green gown in the distance. Who else could it be but Old Dream Demon Emperor? Just as he was about to step out, he scrutinized Old Dream Demon Emperor once more. What are you looking at? Old Dream Demon Emperor asked with a frown. Zhuoyin carefully scrutinized her appearance and immediately relaxed. I was just checking to make sure that little punk, Fang Chen, wasn't impersonating you. I know, he'd love to tear me limb from limb. Seeing that your skin isn't covered in air bubbles, I'm relieved. That kid can only move freely underwater because of those bubbles. Old Dream Demon Emperor ignored him, simply turning and heading out of the Imperial Palace. Zhuoyin glanced around, then hurriedly followed behind her, carefully scanning his surroundings for fear that Fang Chen might suddenly ambush him. Only after they were well outside the Imperial Palace did he finally breathe a sigh of relief. Then he laughed boisterously. I finally saved my skin. Fang Chen must be absolutely fuming. Probably didn't sleep a wink all night. Seeing that Old Dream Demon Emperor ignored him, Zhuoyin smirked. Old Dream, aren't you curious what I told your little toy boy? When I return, I'll live a life of luxury, enjoying the South Sea that you painstakingly managed for me. You and the royal family won't just spare my life, you'll pamper me, too. And I told him I'd sleep with you every day in ways he never could. I'll have you whenever and however I please, make you bear my children, and you'll do it obediently. Old Dream Demon Emperor finally stopped, slowly turning around to face him. Zhuoyin eagerly anticipated seeing Old Dream enraged but utterly powerless to harm him. He intended to cling to her like a haunting spirit for the rest of her life, tormenting her until she broke. What made Zhuoyin frown slightly was that Old Dream Demon Emperor's face remained utterly calm, without a single ripple of emotion. Her next words stunned him. You already said all this yesterday. Zhuoyin was skeptical. He'd said those things to Fang Chen. How could Old Dream know? But then he suddenly realized something. His pupils contracted as he stared intently at the Old Dream Demon Emperor before him, a terrifying thought flashing through his mind. Zhuoyin choked out, Why? You're not Old Dream. Bro really thought he was the main character, didn't he? Zhuoyin, the self-proclaimed Demon Emperor, talked all that big game about his wife begging him, about conquering her, even after being stripped bare. Absolute cinema, watching him flex about his triumphs just moments before his entire life's loot was revealed to be a mere offering to Master Evil Eye. He was an NPC in his own story, an unwitting pawn in a scheme so ruthless it made his own pettiness look like child's play. He got completely cooked, losing everything. His power, his women, his dignity. But tell me, was Jiumeng's final act of stripping him of his cultivation, yet leaving him alive to witness his own irrelevance? A merciful choice, or a fate worse than death in the cutthroat world of cultivation?